This is Pedal Partners, the home of shoegaze. I'm Paige, that's Luca, that's Becca, and we're shoegazers sharing our music, what we like to use for our guitar effects, discontinued gems, and the best forgotten pedals.
Today's a Shoegaze Secrets film on a long-lost relative to our beloved Boss ps-2 and Boss ps-3 pedals. This device was actually released 2 years before the ps-2 and nearly 10 years before the Boss ps-3. So this is the Boss ps-2 released in 1987. If you've been watching the channel, you know this is one of my most used pedals, right?
Yeah, Luca has a really unique way of using this pedal, and it's one of the things that stuck out the most with people that watch our films.
Yeah, so I think this is my original one. I've been through like 5 now. I'm hoping this is the one that I got from the start. It's got the...
Sentimental.
Yeah, the wobbly mode control from just how much I use that control. It's just wobbly there. And then this one, there's like a click when it hits the midway point, and for some reason that's like back here now when it should be up here. And then later on in 1994, the Boss ps-3 was released. So with the Boss ps-2, I really love the delays and the oscillations. I've never really liked the pitch, hence why I'd be changing up the modes all the time. And then the Boss ps-3, it has nicer pitch sounds, still not that usable, and then the delays are just different. They're very clean, which is kind of cool, but I do prefer the delays on the ps-2.
One of my very favorite Shoegaze Secrets films we made yet was with the Boss ps-3, and actually one of my favorite sounds that Luca's ever made was with the Boss ps-3 in that film, and from the feedback we got, you guys were loving it too. Some of our very favorite effects has been vintage pitch shifter delay pedals, and that's why we made Blush, which is our delay pitch shifter with authentic vintage engineering.
Yeah, so when it came to making this pedal, Monica was just like, let's build your dream delay pedal. So it's just got everything. Like the original pitch shifter delays weren't very versatile. Like the ps-2, I literally liked one thing in it. The ps-3, again, I only like a couple of things in it. Whereas with this, every sound is just amazing. It's got beautiful soft nostalgia modulation, it's got beautiful panning, and the pitch is actually usable. And a big thing for us is that you can actually blend the pitch together with the delays, which you can't do with vintage pitch shifter delays.
And since Blush has polyphonic pitch, it sounds good with chords as well as melodies.
Yeah, a big part for us was making the pitch actually usable, so it actually sounds beautiful.
So shout out Becca, she's the one that did the deep diving and uncovered this Shoegaze secret. It's not a guitar pedal, but it's a vintage rack unit.
Yeah, so this is the Boss rps-10 pitch shifter delay mini rack unit. It was released in 1985, so that's 2 years before the ps-2 even. It is very vintage. For example, again, this knob is like not lining up perfectly. In fact, it comes off like that. And this one's really wobbly. The mode control is really wobbly, like on my favorite ps-2. So notice the focus on the pitch shift element on this. So it's rps-10 rack pitch shift. So they were really trying to just make pitch shifters, and I think the delay was more kind of a consequence of the processes, the primitive processes they were using. And so yeah, even in the manuals for the ps-3, the ps-2, and this thing, they're always like, this pitch mode has less delay in it. Like, it feels like they're insecure about it. But I mean, that's what we love about it, is these little quirks to these things. Yeah, the only thing that's a bit annoying with this one I got is the mode control doesn't line up perfectly, so you don't really know what mode you're in. You just have to use your ears. But you've heard on Pedal Partners first, the price of these is going to go up now, especially you need to get the one with the color knobs. The one with the color knobs is worth more because I said so. So the pitch sounds are similar to the ps-2 on this thing, so not my favorite. You can do those kind of like magic sparkly sounds, that kind of one trick pony kind of sound. You've got inverted pitch though, and inverted delay, which is my two favorite modes on this thing. when they say inverted, it's basically a reverse delay, but it's very unique because it's very primitive digital technology. So the delays on this thing are different to both the Boss PS2 and the Boss PS3. So with the Boss PS3, those repeats are clean, right? With the PS2, they self-oscillate. So the repeats aren't necessarily clean on this thing. They're very primitive, vintage digital, but they don't self-oscillate like the PS2. So for me, it's like that's got to be a conscious process that they chose to put those crazy oscillations in the PS2, because the fact that their other pitch shifted delays don't do it, and on the PS2 it's just a random thing that is beautiful. They're like, it has this problem where it's self-oscillates. Should we keep it in there? Like, yeah, go for it.
So the Boss PS2 is 8-bit, PS3 is 16-bit.
And then the RPS-10, we're not too sure what it is. I think it's 8-bit. The internet was trying to say 16, but definitely not.
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
But what we do know is blush is the perfect middle at 12-bit.
Yeah, and that's what we like doing with our pedals, is playing with the bit depth. What's really nice about the RPS-10 is that you can just power it with a standard 9-volt like pedal power supply, center negative, and it's only 100 milliamps. So yeah, for me that's definitely like something that's like 8-bit. So listening back to these takes now, I had a while with the RPS-10. I absolutely love this thing. I think in the video, like, you got a sense that I was loving it, but nah, this is like my favorite thing we've had on the channel for a good while. In fact, I said the other day to Manica, I was like, mate, this is my favorite thing we've had on the channel since my last Manica Labs pedal, or pedal partners by Manica Labs pedal even. Nah, this thing is really inspiring. Just the way the delays are. Just such a beautiful thing, and I don't even love it because it's like the ps-2. For me, it's very different to the ps-2. There's some similarities, but I can really tell the small details. I'm all about the nuances. There's definitely like some lovely differences between the two devices. So if you've already got a ps-2, this one is still worth picking up. And in fact, I'm on my way to go over to eBay now, get another one, because it is such a good thing, and the one I have is a bit dodgy. So, you know, Paige has given the a-okay, like, for me to get another one, so just gonna go get one. And that's what I love about this channel, man. We're just shouting out vintage gear or affordable gear and stuff like that. You know, there's pedals out there that are like $20, which I love more than like the strumming timeline I had. Like, I literally like something that's $20 more. So for me, it's not about the price, it's not about the whole boutique thing. It's just about, like, I love vintage gear, mate. I love it, and that's why I love what we're doing. It's not being done anywhere else. All these modern pedals using like modern DSPs and stuff. Now we're using vintage engineering stuff for our pedals, and I mean that's probably why I love the RPS-10 so much. I actually believe it's 12-bit. Did some research. There's not much about it, but I think it's actually 12-bit. And Blush happens to be 12-bit, and you know they've got similarities in the way that the sounds are working. And I love the noise with these devices, with these vintage devices. It's not the same as even like you can get like really expensive pedals that claim to do lo-fi stuff, and it just ends up being like this super powerful modern DSP, like just trying to emulate the nuances of these devices, and it just doesn't do it. You've got to use the vintage circuitry, the vintage signal flow to achieve that. A lot of the time lo-fi pedals just like put some like cheesy modulation on it, like lo-fi, and I'm like, nah, that's not it. There is a whole science to it, and that's what we're doing, and that's why I love what we do so much. So a beauty to bring that to the world, to bring that all to you.